Picture this, a magnificent kingdom, golden palaces shining, seemingly untouchable. Now, imagine that same kingdom just engulfed in flames, its foundations rocked, not by some massive army, but by one single incredible warrior. This is the story of how that fire started. I mean, just look at this. It is absolute chaos. Towers that were once symbols of unbeatable power are now crumbling into fire and smoke. You can almost hear the panic from an army that thought its home was impenetrable. And this is way more than just a fire. It's like the funeral pyre for an empire's arrogance. A scene of just total, overwhelming destruction, where even the sky seems to be burning. And at the center of it all, one person. Not a legion, not a secret weapon, a lone warrior whose actions have brought this whole mighty kingdom crashing down. That's the real question here, isn't it? How does one single person become a literal force of nature, powerful enough to bring a city to its knees? The story behind this inferno is, believe it or not, even wilder than the fire itself. Okay, so get this, here's the craziest part. Just moments before all this fire and destruction, our warrior was a prisoner. I mean, literally in chains, standing helpless before the all-powerful demon king, Ravana. So how do you go from captive to city destroyer? The answer isn't just about brute strength, it's something way, way deeper. To really understand how this fire happened, we gotta rewind. We have to go back to the beginning of the mission, which started with total desperation in the face of an impossible obstacle. So, you have an entire army completely stopped in its tracks at the edge of this huge, endless ocean. On the other side is the island fortress of Lanka, where Lord Rama's wife, Sita, is being held prisoner. They needed a hero, someone, anyone, who could actually cross that water and find her. Everyone thought the task was impossible, hopeless. Well, almost everyone. One person, Hanuman, steps forward. Driven by this incredible sense of devotion, he just says he'll do it. He'll bring Sita back. And fueled by nothing but faith, he does what no one else could. He takes a single, giant leap and flies across the sea. But, just getting across the ocean wasn't going to be that easy. His path was basically an obstacle course of supernatural monsters, and they were designed to test everything he had, starting with his brain. First up, a massive serpent demon blocks his way and demands he fly into her mouth. Classic villain move. Now, he could have gotten into a big, pointless fight, but instead, he uses his wits. He starts growing bigger and bigger and bigger until the demon has to stretch her mouth wide open. Then, in a split second, he shrinks down to the size of a thumb, zips in and out of her mouth, and he's on his way. A total victory of brains over brawn.
But being clever doesn't solve every problem. His next challenge would need a completely different tactic. He had to switch from being smart to being overwhelmingly powerful.
As he's flying, a shadow demon grabs his reflection in the water below and starts dragging him down. There's no time for tricks here. Hanuman's reaction is instant and it is decisive. One single, devastating punch, and the threat is gone. And this shows you something really important. True power isn't just having strength. It's knowing exactly when and how to use it. So he makes it across the ocean. He's finally in Lanka. But here, his power has to be hidden. He needs to become a completely different kind of operative. Under the cover of night, Hanuman slips into the enemy capital. He's no longer a flying demigod. He's a ghost, a silent agent moving through the shadows, totally focused on one single thing, finding Sita. And he finds her. He gives her Rama's ring, a small symbol that rescue is coming, hope is back. And this, right here, is where the story takes its most brilliant, unexpected turn. Okay, so let's be clear. His main job is done. He found Sita, he delivered the message. He could have just left, slipped away just as quietly as he arrived. Mission accomplished. But he doesn't. He makes this incredibly bold, calculated choice to stick around. Why? Because this was never just a rescue mission. He needed to size up the enemy, to look the Demon King right in the eye, and deliver a message of absolute defiance. So, he chooses to let himself be captured. And that choice brings us full circle, right back to where we started, in the court of the enemy king, where the first spark of Lanka's destruction is about to be lit. So they drag him before Ravana, all bound in chains, but Hanuman shows zero fear. He is not some prisoner begging for his life. He's like an ambassador delivering an ultimatum. His voice just booms with conviction. Return Sita or face complete destruction.
Ravana, dripping with arrogance, just laughs. He doesn't see a divine messenger, he just sees a monkey. So, to mock him, he orders his guards to wrap Hanuman's tail in oily rags and set it on fire. This was, without a doubt, the single worst mistake he ever made.
And that was the turning point. With his tail now a blazing torch, Hanuman simply breaks his bonds. He's not a messenger anymore. He is a weapon. He leaps from rooftop to rooftop, literally painting the city with the fire they meant to punish him with, and single-handedly brings an entire empire to its knees.
So when we look back at this incredible chain of events, what does it all tell us about what real strength is? Let's break it down. Hanuman's journey shows us that true power isn't just one thing. It's a combination. It's the intelligence to outsmart a demon, the unshakable faith to cross an ocean, and the fearless action to turn your enemy's weapon against them. You need all three to be a real hero.
You know, this story is so much more than an ancient myth. It's an exploration of what it really means to be powerful. It forces us to look past just physical strength and think about the other virtues that can shake kingdoms. So it leaves us with one last thing to think about. What does true power mean to you?